Hey, Casas Adobes, Pastor John here with a message for you about what we're studying on Sunday in Fun Day School. So, this week we have a story that Jesus told, and the story is about a man who had some land and he decided, hey, I'm going to put up a vineyard, and that's a place that they grow grapes and make wine, and he put all the things in there to make wine, put a tower and a press and all this good stuff. He said, you know what? I need some people to work the land. So he found some people and he said, you can live on this land, you can harvest the grapes, and then when I come back, just pay me some rent and we'll be good. And that way you can work, I can get some money, and we'll be making some wine. Well, what happens is after some time, the landowner sends his servants over to collect the money for the rent, and the people who are on the land decide, you know what, we're not going to pay you, and they do some really mean things to the servants, kind of rough them up and send them off. And the owner says, did they give you the money? He said, no, they beat us up. So then he says, well, you know what? I'll send some more of my servants, maybe the more tough ones over. And so he sends them over. And same thing happens, only worse. They really rough them up this time. And so when they come back, the landowner finally says, you know what? Maybe if I send my son, they'll respect him. So he sends his son. When his son gets there, the people on the land say, you know what? This is his son. I think if we kill him, we can get his inheritance. And then we won't have to pay anything because we'll get his inheritance. And so they kill the son. And when the landowner finds out, he is very, very angry. And he says, you know what? He says, I am going to use the law to deal with these evil, wicked tenants very harshly. And then once they're off the land, I'm going to give it to some people who appreciate it. So I want you to think about this story. It's a really hard story to understand, but I want you to think about the people who live on the land and not appreciating the possibility of what they have. They had the possibility of living on the land, making some wine, getting some money, and all they had to do was just pay the landlord what he was due, and then they could both live. But they lost sight of their goal, and they wanted to make sure that they just got everything. And when they saw the son, they thought, you know what, and we're going to get even more. So they lost sight of the goal that they were supposed to be tending the field and working with the owner, not against him. And then they could use the land to the best. They end up working against him. They end up working against their own goals. And then they end up not having anything in the end. So this is what I want you to remember. Sometimes grown-ups talk about, oh, we'll find the golden egg. The golden egg is a metaphor that grown-ups sometimes use. My golden egg is opening right now. There, okay. Golden egg is a metaphor for that thing that'll solve all the problems. And so we can put the golden egg out there as a goal to work towards, or we can take it as just like a prize that we're entitled to. I like to think of it as something that leads us to a goal. So we keep going towards it till we finally get it. We finally earn it, and that we are able to persevere. That is a word that we learned this summer, persevere, which means run the long race and be able to hold this in mind without becoming corrupted or without wanting to just take it without any sort of thought or action. So Paul, and we've talked about Paul, in Philippians, he says something really important. This is from the letter to the Philippians, chapter 3, verses 12 through 13. No, just verse 12. And it says, "Not that I have already obtained this or have already reached the goal, but I press on. I press on to make it my own, because Jesus has made me his own." And so Paul is talking about when we live in the community of Jesus and we live in the way of Jesus, that we press on, we move forward, we work towards the goal, we persevere, because we are God's goal. We are Jesus's goal. The goal is to make us people of God. The goal is to make us good people. And so as we press on to our goal using perseverance, God uses us to press on so that God's way becomes the way. And what's in here? Oh, look. Why, it's a gold coin. So this week is World Communion Sunday. That's why I'm wearing my world stole. And so we are going to be sharing communion. And if you have some sort of bread from a different place that you want to share, a tortilla, a croissant, a pita bread, a naan, any sort of bread from around the world, a pumpernickel, bring it. Bring it and we will share it and we will show it and we will talk about it. So in the meantime, I want you to be well. I want you to be safe. And most of all, I want you to press on to your goals with perseverance. Be a blessing and taste how sweet life can be. Yum. Bye-bye. Peace.